Hey tubes, Jonathan's wrong here. Trying to get my cat in on this one. Anyway, um, just thinking about something. It's kind of funny to me. This is a horrible angle. I look I look really bad. Anyway, so you know the whole NEOM thing, the Saudi Arabia city of the future. It's where the line is and everything. By the way, the whole design of the line proves that there's no curvature on the Earth. By the way, but anyway, um, I think that whole thing was just a scam to bankrupt the Saudis because they sunk 50 billion with a B, $50 billion into that thing that was never gonna work. It was never gonna work. There's no way. Mirrored sides. How are you gonna keep those mirrors like from not shattering or being clean or not death beaming everything in the desert? Everything about it was stupid. You don't build a city like that. Cities are built in a grid on a flat surface for a reason. It's travel. Um, there'd be no way for trains to run. All of it, the whole thing, sewage and water, everything. Everything about it was stupid. But the was Bim Scala Bim, or whatever the hell his name is, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, is clearly an idiot. He's an imbecile. To think any of that would work, and for people to gas him up and blow enough smoke up his ass that he was willing to fund it proves he's a moron. Um, I mean, we could already guess, but like literally, they made a bunch of like PlayStation 2, computer graphic, things for a show. They're like, whoa, there's literally like flying trees and shit, and they're like, oh, that'd be awesome. Look, there's flying trees. Be so cool. So we could do this, right, with the flying trees and stuff. But yeah, total idiot, total moron, such a moron. But yeah, I think. Oh, I just noticed that my hand is. Do you really need to see that though? Is that terribly interesting? But so yeah, I was just thinking about it, and they did this something else, something similar to the not the Saudis, but the Arab, the UAE, which a lot of us Americans just thought was the same thing. But look at my cat. But yeah, so they blew a bunch of money doing something stupid too. The these Middle Eastern oil barons are stupid. They're now like fourth, fifth generation, and they've never had to. They just surround themselves with people that blow smoke up their ass. So they're idiots. And it's what, like, how would they not be an idiot? Like what it's not like they're like spending all their time educating themselves. They're spending all their time like trashing Bugattis in the middle of the desert. Look into that. That's a funny thing. They buy these like $1.5 million cars and take them out into the desert because brilliant people, and then they total them or just gets run out of gas and just leave it there. A helicopter comes and picks them up. They're like, oh, whatever. It's only $1.5 billion. So yeah, total morons, total morons. So I think a wolf is gonna sniff out a sick lamb. So they were like, hey, you know what? We need to bankrupt the Saudis. So everyone's bankrupt because that's the goal. They're trying to bankrupt every country. America, the UK, Australia, all the countries that have money. Russia is getting bankrupt through the war currently. China's been bankrupt. They've just been hiding it through the housing bubble. But the goal is to have nobody have money. So they thought, how are we gonna burn all the money for the for those dumbass Arabs? Oh, well, we'll blow smoke up their asses and tell them about these. Oh, there goes the cat. He's growling. Stay a little bit. So handsome. So handsome though. So handsome though. Hates the camera. Hates the camera. You lay my tummy. What was I saying? Yeah. So they, so the goal is for every country to be bankrupt. So they thought, hey, how are we gonna bankrupt the Saudis? Boom. mega projects, and they've blown billions, billions, and billions of dollars. But yeah, you could look into this whole NEOM thing, NEOM, NEOM. It's all open information. How much money they blew on it, how stupid the plans were, the fact that it's a straight flat line with no curvature. It's all there. Every little bit of it. Um, yeah, thoughts, feelings. I mean, like, why else? Like what are there? People were talking. Oh, it's gonna be the jail of the future. It was never gonna be built. There's just no way. You could talk to any architect, and then they'll be like, "That's stupid." You know, you're just gonna stack skyscrapers on top of each other and then wall them in. It's gonna smell great. Gonna smell awesome in there. Imagine all these all these Arabs in this like enclosed. Of course, it wasn't for the Arabs. It's for the tourists. Only like 5% of people in Saudi Arabia and UAE are actual Arabs. It's all people. It's all slave labor and tourists, rich people, rich tourists. If you want to poop and pee in a bucket, you can go there and party if you got blonde hair. I'm too old. They won't take me. And I'm a dude. But anyway, just thought it was funny because like when you look into all of it, it's like you got to think who benefits. Why is this happening? And the same company, forget the name of it, what they do. They're Imagineers. The same company that blew smoke up Bim Sculla Bim's ass, blew smoke up the UAE's ass also. Same exact firm. Um, a coincidence? I think not. That's not how these things work. They're not. Oh, is this it? Is this am I looking at the camera? Um, yeah. There's just no way. Any if you tried to take that stuff to Europe, and hopefully get an actual European and not a Pakistani or whatever, they would take one look at that and be like, no way that's gonna work. Like this is a joke, right? This is for a sci-fi movie about some like dystopian city called The Line. No, they're actually building this. Okay, they have this obsession with like building like fake islands and stuff because you could just put sand. You could just put sand in the ocean and it'll be fine. Yeah, look into that too. It's really funny. They're all getting washed away. Same China tried doing it too, and they're all getting washed away because it's sand and it's in the ocean. Sorry, I've been a, beach kid my whole darn life, and I know exactly how sand operates around water, and it moves where the water wants it to move. That's why beaches have like if there's rising tides, stormy waters, they'll have rocks behind the sand. So when the sand gets pushed up, it hits the rock and it creates, it's like when you build a something on top of a hill. You want a big rock, a big retaining wall to keep the earth from sliding, because that's what Earth does. It moves. It gets wet and it moves. But anyway, just thought that whole thing was interesting. Way better angle, right? I look way less fat from like, hey guys. But anyway, and my phone's upside down and I have a hard time looking at the camera. It's right there. But yeah, tell me what you think. Look into it. The guy's got to be like mentally handicapped, because who's gonna know? You're gonna be like, hey, your only son is the one that's gonna take over the whole country and be king, is mentally retarded. That guy's dead. That doctor that told him that his son's retarded is now dead. You can't do it. You just got to be like, yes sir, and I hope you keep your job. So, which leads to this. That's why you never run things like that. That's why broken monarchies fell. You could have a good monarchy. You could kind of do. What? That's a whole nother topic. But yeah. Look into it. I think it was a plan to bankrupt those dumbass Arabs. That's about it. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. God bless you.